So, after Paul gives an extensive character profile for those who desire to be an elder, he moves on in verse 8 and says, in the same way, all right, stop, go back, think about it. It'd be too easy to just buzz past in the same way. Well, what he's saying is, okay, you see the consistency of character, you see the spiritual maturity, you see his relational maturity, and one of the places you see that is within his own family. So in light of the broad picture, the broad strokes of how an elder is wired, I mean, how he is. Now, in that same way, deacons are to be, first of all, worthy of respect. I've talked about it before, but we're going to hit it again because it's here. What makes me worthy of respect? Well, there's probably quite an interesting splay of things, and I'm not sure. It might take a lot longer than 15 minutes for me to be able to enumerate all the things that go into making a person worthy of respect. So let's think about worthy. Worthy means they deserve it because they have demonstrated it, okay? Or the opposite of worthy is unworthy. And I'm not even sure there's a middle ground when it comes to respect, although maybe there is. Where sometimes we respect people before we have sufficient data to confirm that they're worthy of respect, or we disrespect them on the basis of a rumor or someone else's opinion, but not because we have reliable information about them. So these things happen. But what makes a person worthy of respect is that first of all, they're honest. They tell the truth. And the negative way to say that is they don't lie. They don't even inflate the truth. They don't even, I suppose the opposite of inflating truth is to minimize truth. For just over 200 years now, politicians have been masterful at inflating or minimizing truth to somehow leverage that for their agenda. A person who is worthy of respect, your experience with them is what they say they will do, and what they tell you as truth is truth, or at the very least, pardon me, the truth as they understand it. Now, that doesn't mean their truth. I'm talking about the actual truth. These are the facts. Now, sometimes the way I understand facts can be revised by new information. So, okay. Worthy of respect. Everybody, whether we have this list written down or not, everybody has a criteria for whether or not and to what degree they respect people. Begins with their honesty, their truthfulness. Then there is their reliability. There are some people who they're good people, but you just can't count on them. That is a ding on my list. That's a bit of a ding on their respect-o-meter. Their authenticity and I would even say the wisdom with which they make choices. these things all add up. They all mount up toward respect. I respect the people I respect most are the ones whose honesty, authenticity, whose reliability, all of those aspects have benefited me personally. So a deacon would be a man, and in this case, there's evidence from the New Testament, the book of Acts, and in some of Paul's writing, that deacons may have also been women. So I'm okay with that. But regardless of what their gender was, and oh, by the way, just so you know, I think there's only two. So, okay. Regardless of their gender, they have demonstrated that they're worthy of respect. There is a piece of this that I will, just on the basis that you're a human being, I will give you a measure of respect. Okay? This really has nothing to do with how you have lived your life in terms of relationship with me. But that respect, that trust can be diminished in an instant by bad behavior, by inconsistency, by immaturity. Then it has to be rebuilt. And I think in some ways, life is just that way. We gain respect, and sometimes we fail. And then we have to regain respect. So a deacon is worthy of respect. They live in a way that it makes sense for me to have respect for them. Okay. And then it says sincere. I think that is for me, that's a big connect with respect. I find it difficult to respect insincere people. I also find it really difficult to somehow merge insincerity in a person and the truth of the gospel. Sincerity is a natural outcome of an authentic relationship with Jesus. Now, I'm not taking a shot at anybody in particular, but to be sincere is part of a picture. It's not the entire picture. I know people who are wrong, and they're sincere about their wrong belief or their wrong value or their wrong worldview. I know people who are sincere in their emotions, but they just, that's as far as it ever goes. Sincerity never gets into action in any way. And I wonder, I question the value of that kind of sincerity. You know, the old saying, you can be sincerely wrong, and I think that's true. Sincerity is not the litmus test of discipleship, but it is an integral part. It is an essential part of real, authentic discipleship, sincerity. Then it goes on, it says, not indulging in much wine. Okay, that's a lot like what was said of the elder. They don't indulge in much wine. In other words, they are moderate in their consumption of alcoholic beverages. What does that mean? Are they just social drinkers? Well, now, I grew up in a church tradition that was teetotal. As a matter of fact, when I was in, we didn't have middle school, we had junior high. When I was in junior high, God bless her, we had Mrs. White in our church, the wife of one of our oldest elders, who was the crusader and leader of our Ladies' Temperance Union, which was a holdover from Carrie Nation, right? I don't know if you know the story of Carrie Nation, but she used to go to bars with hatchet or axe and chop up the bar and run people out. You must not drink a drop. In fact, it's laughable now, but at the time I wasn't laughing. It was a little bit frustrating. I don't know. Okay, I was in high school at this time, and we were. If you take Hawaiian punch and ginger ale, you can make a nice little sparkling punch, right? Well, no. You couldn't use ale, not even ginger ale. I have to find something else. 7-Up, which, what is that about? Well, okay, that's a little bit out of balance. I don't even know if the Women's Temperance Union has survived into this century. There's a part of me that it would be happy if it didn't, and yet there's a part of me, I have dealt with enough alcoholics who some are in recovery, and unfortunately some are not. But I have seen the destruction of alcoholism in family systems and in individual families and in individual lives. There's nothing comical about that. It's not merely frustrating, it's heartbreaking. Paul says, for a person to be a deacon, you need never worry that they will cross the line and drink too much to develop a drinking problem. Now, some people say there's no such thing as a drinking problem. Either you're sober or you're drunk. Okay, but what I'm saying here about a deacon is go back. They're worthy of respect. They're sincere. And so you would be able to expect that they would never overdrink. They don't drink to get drunk. They don't even have just one too many. They do not indulge in much wine. Well, in Paul's day, alcoholism, I don't think was nearly as big an issue as it is in our day, but there were people who were alcoholic, and this is a clear teaching. Don't be that person. For a deacon, you shouldn't have to worry if they are moderate in their consumption of alcoholic beverages. There's so much more that a lot of people want to say about that, but that's enough for me. And then he goes on, not pursuing dishonest gain. Now that, excuse me, that's pretty huge. Dishonest gain. Well, basically, what if you're not pursuing dishonest gain, then the simplest way to look at that is you're only pursuing honest gain. Well, I don't have enough time to totally flesh this out, so I'm going to come back to it next time on Soul Care with Stevie Boy.